welcome back to my channel. My name is Darian and today I'm going to be talking about my 2021 reading goals. So obviously 2021 is upon us. She is here finally. So I thought I would talk to you guys a bit about my goals for this year, what I plan on reading more of, how many books I want to read, all of that fun stuff. So yeah, let's just get into it. So first of all, I feel like the biggest thing that people talk about at the beginning of a new year is their Goodreads goal or how many books they want to read in the new year, which I find it funny that we call it the Goodreads goal because it's really just how many books we want to read in the new year. The only thing it has to do with Goodreads is that we like log our books into Goodreads. But anyways, my Goodreads goal. So let me tell you my thought process for choosing my Goodreads goal for 2021. So in 2020, I set my goal at 50 books because I only really got back into reading a lot in like the middle of 2019. So in 2019, I only read about like 24 books, I think, something like that. It was in the 20s. And so when 2020 started, I thought setting it at 50 would be a pretty reasonable but also challenging goal because I wasn't really sure yet how many books I would be reading and how often I would be reading and all of that. So I set it at 50 because I assumed that way I would be reading an average of about a book a week, giving myself like a 2-week kind of grace period. And then I finished the year of 2020 reading 76 books. Now, I think two things definitely helped that. One was quarantine, obviously. I was home a lot and so I read a lot more, and also my breakup because I had more time to read. It's just the facts. So we don't really know what 2021 is gonna look like. You know, we have the vaccine coming and all of that, but I have a feeling I will still be home a lot more than I normally would. So I wanted to set my goal higher than 50, but at first I thought maybe I should set it higher than 76 to kind of challenge myself to read more than the year before. But knowing me, and I know like your Goodreads goal, it really does not matter like whether you achieve it or not. You could literally change your goal throughout the year, like it really does not matter. But knowing me, if I don't complete my Goodreads goal by the end of the year, then I will be really disappointed in myself. So I'm telling this whole story basically to explain that I set my Goodreads goal at 65 books because I wanted it to be higher than my goal the previous year, which was 50, but not too high that I would worry that I wouldn't reach it because I don't know if I'll read as much as I did last year. So I figured 65 was a pretty good number because that way I know I can do it because I did read more this year, but it's not so challenging that I am too worried about not completing it, if that makes any sense. So all that to say, I set my Goodreads goal at 65 books. And one thing that I think will help me reach that goal, which leads me to my next goal, is to read more graphic novels this year. Before 2020, I never really read any graphic novels. I don't think I actually read any that I can think of. But in 2020, I read both the Heartstopper series and the Tea Dragon Society books, and I absolutely loved both of them. I love graphic novels. I mean, those are the only two series that I read, and I know there's so many more out there, so I really want to get into reading more graphic novels. So if you guys have any suggestions about graphic novels that I should read, please let me know because I really want to start reading more graphic novels. I'm really interested in reading Bloom. That one looks really good, and also The Prince and the Dressmaker. I really want to read that one. Like, there's so many that I want to read. So if you have any suggestions, please let me know because I really want to read more of those this year. My next goal for 2021 is to read more mystery thrillers because I don't read a lot of them, but every time I do, I really like them. I haven't found one yet that I haven't liked, I don't think. I seem to give them almost always 4 or 5 stars. Like, it doesn't take too much to impress me with a mystery thriller as long as I'm somewhat surprised, which it's easy to surprise me, even though lately I've been pretty good, as Rachel knows, of guessing things that happen at the end of books, but normally I'm not very good. So some mystery thrillers that I've read this year that I really loved were The Kind Worth Killing by Peter Swanson and Behind Closed Doors by B.A. Paris. Like, I'm loving the genre, and I really love listening to the audiobooks, and I started listening to them back in 2019 when I was still physically going to school. I would listen to them on the train to school, and I really love mystery thriller audiobooks. So again, if you have any suggestions for really good mystery thriller audiobooks or just mystery thrillers in general, I would love to know, because I really want to start reading them more. I really love that genre and I really don't own a lot of those books. So yeah, I am looking to read more of those in 2021. Ugh, I need to get used to that. The next goal I have is probably the most important goal that I have, which is to be more intentional with what I read this year. And mainly what I mean by that is to read more diversely, because I think in 2020, especially, you know, with the resurgence of the Black Lives Matter movement, I think it was kind of a wake-up call for a lot of readers that we were primarily reading books by white cis people. And, you know, obviously, I mean, I can get into a bigger conversation about, you know, publishing and how more diverse books need to be published, but I think in order for that to happen, it kind of starts with us as the readers to show that we want more of those books and that we like more of those books, and maybe that will help more of those books be published. Obviously, you know, I'm not the spokesperson for that, but I think that it is important to diversify our shelves, and I definitely started reading more diversely in 2020, but I think I could be a whole lot better with that, because looking back at my reading year of 2020, most of the books I read were by white people, and I really, really want to change that. And by changing that, I can't just say, like, in this video that I want to read more diversely and then do nothing about it and just keep reading the way I've been reading, because I think what happens is that I think there's a lot of well-meaning people out there, myself included, who it's not that they purposely don't pick up books by authors of color, but we need to make sure that we're doing that, if that makes any sense. So I really want to be more intentional about what I read in 2021. So like when I'm making my TBRs for the month, I want to make sure that, like, if I look at my TBR and see that there's no authors of color in the books that I'm reading that month, like, I need to change something there. So I just want to make sure I'm checking myself month to month about what I'm reading and making sure that I'm reading from a whole bunch of different voices, not just straight white cis people. And like I said, I think a lot of us started doing better in 2020, but like we need to do a lot better. So all that to say, I hope I'm making sense here, but I just want to make sure that I am listening to a lot of different voices, not just from people who look like me. So I definitely want to be more intentional with my reading in 2021, making sure that I'm, again, not just reading from white authors. Another goal I have is to try to cut down on my own TBR, because I have a bad habit of buying books on this channel. I mean, I know a lot of booktubers do. We like to buy books. It's its own hobby in itself, but my own TBR is kind of getting out of control, so I do have a goal of kind of slimming that down a little bit, and maybe by the end of 2021 I will only have, not a few, I can't read that much, but I will have a smaller amount of books on my own TBR. I mean, I have so many books on my shelves that I really, really want to get to that I haven't read yet, and so I'm also running out of room of where to put books, so that will definitely help if so that kind of goes hand in hand with just buying less books, but also I just want to focus on reading the books that I have instead of just constantly looking for books to buy, if that makes any sense. So yeah. Another goal I have is to learn how to DNF books. I've always been very bad at DNFing books, because in my head I'm always like, but what if this gets so much better all of a sudden and I miss this amazing thing that happens, even though that's rarely the case, because if I'm not liking a book and I'm halfway through it, there's a very good chance that I will spend the rest of the book not liking it. So I want to learn how to DNF more. In 2020, I DNF'd one book and I DNF'd it at like 83%. So I basically read the whole thing. So I really want to get into the habit of DNFing books at like 30%, 50%, maybe even before that, because life's too short to read books that you don't like, and I know everyone says this, and yet it has not computed in my brain. So yeah, that's something I really want to work on this year, because I want to spend more time reading books I'm gonna love. not books that I am trudging through. So I have 2 more goals, and these kind of have more to do with my channel more than my reading. The first one is that I really want to do some more secret TBR videos. I did do one in 2020 and that one took me 4 months to do when it could have taken like a few weeks to do, but I had to make it difficult for myself. So I really want to do more of those because those are really fun, and I really like the way I did it, where that it was kind of out of my hands what I read, if that makes sense. If you saw the video, hopefully you understand what I mean, but I kind of like that because it kind of forces me to read some of the books that I have that maybe I wouldn't have necessarily picked for like a TBR video or something like that. So I really like doing those, and also it's kind of fun to have a secret and hopefully I can get better at making those and not taking so long to do them. But yeah, that's definitely something that I would love to do in the new year. Finally, a personal goal that I have for myself for my channel this year is to possibly reach 1K. I am currently at around 700, and that's amazing, obviously, and I think I can do it, but I don't want to get too presumptuous. So yeah, that's just a goal for myself, is to keep bettering my channel, and hopefully people can find it and like what they see. And if I reached 1K this year, I would probably cry. And then obviously like another bigger goal I have is to be monetized, because as much as I would love to say that, you know,
I only do this because I just love doing this so much. I do it for the art. I don't need money. Like,
it would be kind of nice to be paid for what I'm doing, because I love booktube. I love it so much. I love making videos and editing them. Like, I love it. It's amazing, but it is a lot of hard work, and it would just be nice to get a little money out of it. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't think that's a bad thing. So yeah, that's like the major goal. I don't know if that could happen this year, but I think maybe reaching 1K is attainable, so we'll see. But yeah, so those are my reading goals in 2021. Let me know what goals you guys have for yourselves this year. How many books do you want to read? Which genres do you want to read more or less from? And what you think about my goals. And if you have any recommendations for some of the things that I mentioned. As I just mentioned, I did recently reach 700 subscribers, which it blows my mind. Thank you guys so much for subscribing and supporting me. And what I like to do when I reach a new milestone is to shout out some smaller booktubers to kind of spread the love. So I have 3 booktubers that I want to mention. The first one is Sarah from Streaming Books. I love them so much. Oh my god, I love Sarah. First of all, she's a fellow Canadian, which like, we love that for us. So if you want to support more Canadians, then go subscribe to Sarah. But she is just so sweet. I love their videos so much, and they often read books that I've never even heard of before, so I get a lot of great recommendations from her. So yeah, definitely go subscribe to her and check her out. The next booktuber I want to mention is Lily from Literally Lily. She just changed her channel name, and she has this like whole new branding for herself, and I love that for her. And she is definitely so underrated. Like, I don't understand how she doesn't have a million more subscribers, but I love her so much, and I love her videos, and she's just so sweet. And I know that she is extremely creative. I may know of something that she might be plotting that could be coming soon. So just go subscribe to her channel and watch that space, and that's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, we love Lily. And finally, there's Kristen from Books and More with Kristen G. I recently found her channel, and I really love her videos. Like, she just seems like such a great person, and there's just something about her videos. I find them very calming. Like, she has such a calming energy, I find. So I don't know, I just love watching her videos. And again, she's another person who is extremely underrated, so I definitely recommend you guys go check her out. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon with another video soon. Bye!